Welcome back. This is the last section of the video of setting up web meetings or web lecture or / presentation. What we just did is we had in the previous video recorded a short snippet of a wrap-up session, a web lecture. I showed you some very simplistic tools using the purple Collaborate tab in the lower right of the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra screen. I also showed you the top left, which is the black tab, which has the three horizontal lines. That's the Sessions tab where you could record and stop recording. Now what I'm going to show you is what happens after you're done with your session. First of all, you stop recording your session and you close your Collaborate session out completely. While that session is closed, go back to your Blackboard course. As you can see in this video here, I'm back in the sample course, and navigate to the web meetings or where your web Blackboard Collaborate tool is. So I selected web meetings as my tool link, which takes me to Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, and you see that I had a session which I called Wrap Up Week 1. Now that session's still available, but what happens if I delete it? I can if I want, and it won't stop the recording. However, if you go up to the top left where you see the three white horizontal lines, this is our menu icon, click it to expand. You're going to see your name, you'll see the sessions, which shows you the sessions menu here, which is what opens when you click the web meetings or your Collaborate Ultra link, but you're going to see a third option and it says recordings. So now you're going to click recordings, and this will show you where your recordings are housed for Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. You can see recordings, the date, how long it took, which of course the actual video was about 7.5 minutes, but the recording from when I started the click record button to when I stopped the recording, the duration was 1 minute and 23 seconds. It tells you the session name, it tells you the recording. For instance, if I am still in session Wrap Up Week 1, which is the session name, and I go in and I record another portion of this session, it will be called recording _2. So now, if I click this, I'll be able to preview my recording. If I click, and then it'll show Watch Now, it opens Blackboard Collaborate in a new tab, and you're going to hear some things possibly from my computer. I'm not sure how this works, so you guys are going to be my experimentees, well, the same as I am. You see this screen here, Blackboard Collaborate. You still see the Sessions menu where you can record. You see the Blackboard Collaborate chat panel down here. This is the recording of this session, so the entire recording, including any chats, will be recorded. Now if I click Blackboard Collaborate, you're going to see first of all that I didn't put any picture, or I didn't put any video of myself up because by that time I had turned it off. But you can see the presentation I recorded. If I had the audio enabled, you'd hear that as well. Because I have a microphone plugged into my laptop though, you won't hear it because I have the sound muted. But you can see this is the perspective of the student viewing the recording. They'll hear everything. You have your timeline going on down here. Choose this. You can even make it full screen if you wish. But this is what your students will be able to see. I'm going to pause this and I'm going to close this screen out. So that way I don't have to worry about it. But I'll take you back here to the Wrap Up Recording Week 1. Now, if I want, I can go over here to the far right, past the name, past the date, past the timestamp, past the duration. You'll see a circle with 3 dots in it. I will click this. I can choose to download if I enable the downloading. I can choose to edit the name of the recording if I want. So say I want to, instead of calling it Recording 1, I'll call it Sample. So I can do that if I choose to. Now you can see the name has been changed. But if I wanted to place a copy of this recording somewhere, either I could leave it here, click this again, watch it now. I could go up, let's see if I can get it up here. You guys will see a little bit of a change here. I will copy this URL, right click for me, copy. Now let me go back over to my sample course. So right now I have in one tab, let me scroll all the way up here. Right now in one tab I had the Collaborate open here. I copied this. Now I'm going to navigate back to my course in another tab. So I have two tabs open. And then I will go to, let's say weekly areas. I'll click on weekly areas. What I will do from here is I will build content and I will create a web link, because remember, I just copied that URL. So now let's say I'll call this Wrap Up Week 1. And here I will paste the URL by either Control V or Command V on the Mac, or right click and paste. As you can see, I have the URL here. It is a tool provider, but this is not something that is a tool provider link. So don't worry about checking this box, leave that unchecked. Give it a brief description, because remember, descriptive links are important. Please watch for a wrap up of week 1, which Amber can't type today because it's Monday. So we'll just leave it as it is. Unfortunately, I apologize about my typing. Forgive me, all my grammar fans. And I always want it to open in a new window. A web link is important to open in a new window, because then even if I opened this link once it's set, I could still navigate to a different tab back to my class. This way it won't inadvertently close out a course for a student. Then the student doesn't panic and wonder what happened to their course, have to log back in, which I've seen sometimes with tests. Okay, let me scroll this page down. I've got everything where I wanted it to be. I've opened a new window, created the link. So I started from the top of the page, created the web link, name, URL, text, all, etc., so on and so forth. I can choose to restrict my dates. I'm going to click Submit. So now it says Wrap Up Success Week 1's created, which would be in my content area. Remember, if you want to reorder stuff, say it's all the way at the bottom of 20 weeks of learning, I can click this. I can go to the reordering keyboard icon up here in the top right. I can choose Wrap Up Week 1, use this reordered content up and down navigational arrows after I highlight it, click Submit, and guess what happens? It pops right up on the top. So you can see here, this is a link, but it is a web link, so it looks like a blank page. Now, watch what happens when I click on Wrap Up Week 1. Loading recording, that's a good sign. And boom. All the student has to do is watch this. Now, one thing about Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, which I do have a little bit of difficulty with, is the fact that if you wanted to have this closed captioned, it does not automatically include closed captioning. You would either have to manually enter closed caption, which means a transcript for your video, or provide a document transcript to go along with your video. An alternative solution would be to create your video using Collaborate Ultra and then uploading it to YouTube, where YouTube will automatically create your closed captions for you. Please remember, if you do use Blackboard Collaborate and YouTube together, that you enunciate clearly so that way YouTube understands what you're saying and can translate it accordingly. Hopefully these have been some helpful video snippets for you. If you have any questions, as always, I'm located in the library, room 126, or you can contact me via extension 7991.